Breathe the snow in. Breathe the moisture out. Oh, snow in Canada. Beautiful snow day. Is it a snow day? Are you excited about the snow today?
Yes.
Why?
Because I got new boots.
You got new boots.
They got winter grippies on
Were the new boots for Tuesday the 9th today?
Whatever. They're my Christmas present because anything that we buy in December is our Christmas present.
Oh, okay. I see. I get it.
So I have like friends in my Al-Anon groups, my AA group, whatever. They're like in California, and they're like, we don't understand. Like I see it on TV, but why would you want to live there? And I'm like, we literally ask ourselves that every winter.
We don't when we stay here, but remember we went to Victoria in November and then came back and there was snow?
It was awful.
Like, why? There's no ferns here. Like ferns and moss do not exist in most of Canada. We don't have to live here. I think we should discuss moving.
Hakuna Matata.
Oh, you've been watching The Lion King. So be it. Maybe it's amen in African.
It means no worries.
In Lionese.
Means no worries. So this winter, I have good winter boots. They're really light and waterproof.
You bought them Keens.
I bought Keens. They're warm. They're waterproof. They're super light. My friend owns
Is this a promotional video for Keens? Did they give you those boots?
It was a little overwhelming trying to pick, and so I just went with.
I remember you wanting boots for 2 years and you couldn't pick.
Oh, I'm not good at picking. I'm not good at picking.
I finally got you, indecisiveness.
I feel like I'm more decisive now that I've overcome like money. Money was such a huge hurdle for me before. Like to spend $200.
You should ask the people around you if you're more at a restaurant. You're not very decisive. I wonder what the root cause of indecisiveness is. We don't need to discuss that. I found that because
it's
of
on my
COVID,
list of chaos creating traits.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I wasn't sure
as
if
a
you
chaos
wanted
creator,
to talk about it, but
as a chaos creator, indecisiveness is on my list of.
I thought so. I found that there are some industries that are improving finally because of COVID. One of them is recovery, addiction recovery groups.
Yep.
And then the other one, which I had witnessed today about, was the medical. Like they're so old school. Like you gotta come and meet with me. No, and
today you had
it was an online appointment. Lovely. It was a simple phone call. And can I discuss it a little bit?
Okay,
it was about I wanted to get the antibody test because I do believe I had a touch of COVID at the beginning, and like I get that response, and I just feel like it's something that I went through personally. And
at the time they wouldn't test you
because there's no testing. So then they come up with this antibody test, and I might know a person or two that have got it, and so I wanted to get the referral. There was a simple phone call. My doctor is saying, "Why do you want to get it?" And then I gave her all the reasons, and she goes, I just want to tell you that there is no purpose medically that you would need to get it. And if you did get it, that even if you did get COVID, odds are that the antibodies could be gone in 3 or 4 months. So the test isn't even accurate. And it's just a money grab from Dynacare, which I said, oh, it's $75. I could go buy a burger. And she goes, yeah, probably nowadays with the price of burgers, you could buy 2.
All right.
It's an industry that has improved,
yes,
because of COVID.
Advancement in industry.
This one is called Asking for Help. We are in our morning devotional meditation asking for help. So I try to take the concept of what we're reading throughout the day.
Why do we do this?
We do this for our spiritual health, for our couple's health. And
has it improved our relationship?
I believe yes.
It has?
I believe it is a factor in our relational ships. All right, asking for help. This is for all the guys out there. This is something super easy for us. We probably don't even need to read this, but we'll just read this.
Because you're so good at asking for help.
We'll just read this for the women and
okay.
It's okay.
Sarcasm.
It is okay to ask for help. One of the most absurd things we do to ourselves is not asking for help that we need from a friend, a family member, or a higher power, or God, in the appropriate resource, or the appropriate resource. We don't have to struggle through feelings and problems alone. We can ask for help from God and for support and encouragement from our friends. Whether we whether what we need is information, you just go to Google, encouragement, a hand, a word, a hug, someone who will listen, or a ride, we can ask. We can ask people for what we need from them. We can ask God for what we need from God. It is self defeating not to ask for the help we need. It keeps us stuck. If we ask long and hard enough, if we direct our request to the right source, we will get the help that we need. There is a difference between asking someone to rescue us and asking someone in a direct manner for the help we need from him or her. We can be straightforward and let others choose whether to help us or not. If the answer is no, we can deal with that. If it is self defeating to hint, whine, manipulate, or coerce help out of people, it is annoying to go to people as a victim and expect them to rescue us. It is healthy to ask for help when help is what we need. My problem is shame, said one woman. I wanted to ask for help in dealing with it, but I was too ashamed. Isn't that crazy? We who are eager to help others can learn to allow ourselves to receive help. We can learn to make clean contacts about asking for and receiving the help we want and need. Prayer for today. Today, I will ask for help if I need it from people and my higher power. I will not be a victim, helpless, waiting to be rescued. I will make my request for help specific, to the point, and I will leave room for the person to choose whether or not to help me. I will not be a martyr any longer by refusing to get help that I deserve in life. The help that makes life simpler. God, help me let go of my need to do everything alone. Help me use the vast universe or resources available to me. Amen. I love this one. I like it.
I like it too.
It's a good thing to go throughout our day and remember this one, like to meditate on it. And where do I need help? How do I need help? Mm-hmm. What areas of my life do I need help? And just being open to God to show us that, and then asking for help. I know for me personally, the first time in my sober living, I was in treatment, in addiction treatment, and I was at a rehab, and one of the rules were you had to get a sponsor, start working the steps, and you had to go to like 3 AA meetings.
Okay.
So I did the AA meetings, and I'm trying to gather information, and this is a scary journey, and I'm kind of excited but scared nonetheless. And I'm 3 months in, and I don't have a sponsor because I'm just feeling it out and trying the waters. And I had a problem in a meeting, and I came to one of the counselors who I could tell was in the rooms of recovery himself. And I just brought the problem to him, and he says, well, you should bring this up to your sponsor. And I said, that amazing idea. Thank you. And he goes, you don't have a sponsor, do you? I'm like, so perceptive. How would he know that? And I'm like,
been around the block.
No, I actually haven't been able to find one. And he goes, how about tomorrow you go and find a sponsor, or I will ask you to leave the program because it is a mandatory thing. And so I was like, that's pretty harsh, but okay, I'm going to do that. And so the next day I walked to a meeting with my hands clammy and sweaty. I went to the front of the meeting like it was suggested to me and asked for a temporary sponsor. And I was so scared. My mouth is dry. And this is the first time I've actually invited a person to help me with the process of recovery and not the process of addiction. I can ask all day for people to help me with addiction.
Yeah.
So it's not, for me, it was not easy asking for help.
I've been really encouraged this year about how many of my friends are going to see like a therapist or a counselor or, and I think that's like a really incredible big step for people. And I think sometimes we can be disappointed and think like, oh, everything has to be fixed or it's like some kind of magical solution. Mm-hmm. But I think one of the most significant parts of 12-step program therapy is actually speaking things out loud that normally we just keep inside our head. Mm-hmm. and that like an effective sponsor, from what I understand, isn't going to solve that problem for you. That's not the point of having a sponsor. The point of having a sponsor is that you would have someone that you would talk that through with, but ideally their job is to like point you to God and point you to like actually figuring out what you need through the program, but figuring it out on your own.
Yeah, and that's real help. When somebody leads me into a dependent relationship with God and not them, that's real help.
And I had a friend tell me recently like how much they appreciated, and this is like a friend that when I first met them, you know, early recovery, but how like she was telling me what a good friend I'd been over the last 10 years. And then she started telling me like how I had been such a good friend for her. And none of it had anything to do with like physical things that I had done for her. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was so interesting. And I think and it was actually really helpful for me because I've really tried to be intentional about like not just doing things for people so that I could feel good about myself. I've actually like have tried to be present for people, right? And so when someone has a problem, I'm not most helpful by trying to fix it for them. I think I'm most helpful by just like sitting and listening and asking them questions and letting them talk it out.
Remember the quote that Joanne read yesterday?
Yeah, that was Jean Vanier. That was a very good quote.
Can you quote it?
I can say that the quote basically says that we are of most help to people when we can point out their own value to them. Mm-hmm. And help them see their value and
not just doing things for them.
And it was interesting because my friend sent me that quote, and I had this conversation with this friend like within a day. And so I was actually able to like see and think like, oh, that's actually something that, you know, at least in one relationship in my life, I've managed to actually do that. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I definitely do that in every relationship, I think, but
yeah. And then the other thing that I've come to really value is asking God for help. And so in step 10, we watch for 4 things. And so I'm asking God, I'm identifying these things, and then I'm asking God, can you take these things away from me? Can you take self-pity away from me? Can you take, and I do need to pray for myself, and I need his power where I'm powerless so that I can be of more use to him. And then the other thing is like, do we have needs, and can we ask people? And so we had some camera needs, and we had some other needs, and we asked some community members.
We had people at the beginning of COVID that like there's solo moms who they like, what are they going to do? Take their kids grocery shopping, or you know, immunocompromised people that don't have a vehicle. And so that was something that like we put out to a few people like, hey, this is something we're able to do and willing to do. And then there's people. But then they had to ask.
They have to ask, and then it doesn't have to lie on us because there's other people that were waiting to get groceries for other people.
Yeah,
like,
so sometimes
like they actually like doing it. All right, we are going to get on our date. You have a snowy walk to go on with your new Christmas boots. Yeah. You shouldn't be opening Christmas presents before Christmas, but we'll let this one go. And
I'll just have nothing under the tree.
Yeah, okay, that's how that works. Manipulate, coerce,
John loves to give gifts, so there's no way I'm going to have nothing under the tree.
Hockey sticks in hands. We'll see you tomorrow.
You can just stop calling them my Christmas boots. Stop pretending you're not going to
buy I bought you boots.
No, you didn't.
Okay. Bye. Ask for help.